And here we go. And Leanne-Hulsenberg, a 247 where she never missed the pocket. Just saying. And another 10 pin. That's how she started the match with Linda Barnes. That one probably not as solid as some of the others. But you saw what she did, and then Linda Barnes unable to get the 9 she needed for a tie, or the triple that she needed in the 10th for the win to move on to the championship match. This was a troublesome pin for Leanne. She got away with the single pin spare miss. And here's your tournament leader, Kelly-Kulick, your defending champion, a 2-time U.S. Women's Open champion. And she took over the lead after 24 games, and it looked like Secretariat. Looked like Michael Johnson in the Olympics when she took off, and just blew everybody away with a 241 average. And sadly, there'll be no $1 million. Ringing 10 for Kelly that time.
Somebody somewhere is breathing a sigh of relief.
Well, there's an insurance guy right now who just opened a cold beverage of his or her choice. Absolutely. Well, let's go over to Kathy Doran Lizzie, who's standing by with Linda Barnes. And Kathy, we understand that an interesting development during the course of Linda's run.
Yeah, unfortunately, during the commercial break, Linda felt a pull in her right forearm, although she didn't act like anything was bothering her, but apparently she's in a lot of pain.
Yeah, you know, I felt a pull coming out of the commercial break, but I think it actually helped me because I couldn't grab at it. It hurt enough to where I thought, okay, well, let's just get it off your hand. Everything happens for a reason. So I'm happy to be here.
You're happy with the result anyway.
I moved up 2 spots. I made extra money. I got to bowl at the Cowboy Stadium. It's a good day.
That's great. You both great. Congratulations.
You'll take some of that $15,000 and buy some ice, would you please, Chris, on the way home? Meantime, Kelly-Kulick went through the face on that, and as you've always talked about how the 3-6-10 you can't stand. Now she's got the 9 pin behind that.
Well, this is basically the hardest spare you can leave. It's not a split or a washout. But Kelly's keys to victory here are just really more of the same. She has completely dominated women's bowling over the last 2 years. She is able to carry through with the same game plan and the same proficiency that she's shown through that time. This is hers to win.
And the keys brought to you by Ebonite International, and the same fine folks are bringing you this championship match for $50,000 without interruption. First strike of the match. You know it's going to be a strike when Del Ballard Jr. is standing next to me, starts nodding his head yes. The second leaves her fingers. He was on that immediately.
The main difference between the two is how it rolled off the end of her hand. The first one, she got up the back of it a little bit and it hit flat. That one, she got around and it completed the move. It made it all the way back around the corner and rolled through the pins.
Again, Hulsenberg has won major championship trophy, the 1999 USBC Queens.
Oh, that needs a hold.
And there's a solid 4-pin. She said that was a hold or something. That's what it sounded like.
That needed to hold.
That was
2 boards inside of her last shot, according to our CATS data at the arrows, and with basically no projection at all. She was fortunate that that was just a 4-pin. It did hold for a 4-pin. Shannon O'Keefe threw a shot like that earlier today that turned into a big 4.
So this should be an easy convert, and it is. So Kelly-Kulick, we've shown you, has won this tournament twice, 2003, basically her rookie season, and 2010. Here are your other 2-time winners. And you see Liz Johnson was in our field earlier, 96 and 07. Paula Carter, Pat Costello, whom you've met already. Dana Miller-Mackey, certainly one of the best ever. Kim Terrell-Kearney, a Hall of Famer. But Marion Ladovich won 8 of them. So you got some catching up to do. Kelly through the nose again, Chris, and in huge trouble here in trying to defend her title early on. What's missing?
Basically, there's just a lot more friction out here right now. She's using a shiny ball, which she used the last round of match play. But it's hooking even more. It's coming off the spot. And by the spot, I mean the friction on the lane too hard. She's going to have to move further left, or she's going to have to use more speed to smooth that out.
So Kelly in a 20-pin hole of her own doing right now. She had a poor count in the second frame off of her, and there's exactly what you're talking about there, Chris.
She has to get it out in this range on the outside of this carry down oil to create some hold. If she gets it going up and it gets in through here, it's going to go high. There's not enough oil there to hold it back. She has to get on the outside of it down lane.
Well, on top of the show, you talked about making adjustments as a key here for all the players. He certainly did there, and just got a bad break on that ringing 10.
It looked like she made a little bit of a move there and tried to and actually the proper adjustment, but it rung 10, which is not a lot of positive feedback that you're doing the right thing. Leanne is really lined up. You really can't wait any longer. Leanne always finishes well. She gets into a little bit of rhythm. Frames 6 through 12 are going to be the ones. Leanne's going to throw a lot of strikes unless she rings a 10 somewhere.
There you see what she did that she just shot that left the ringing 10. That's a little bit of trouble on that conversion. Well, throw motion time, Chris Barnes. What do we have here? Kelly in the lighter blue shirt, and there is Leanne right there in the darker blue.
What you have between these two, Kelly has a much more consistent approach with momentum, where Leanne has a little slow and stop, and then she drives through at the end. The interesting thing for Kelly here is that she normally doesn't have anyone left of her except for Michelle Feldman. Leanne is one of the few people on any tour that can really get left of Kelly consistently and outhook her on the lane.
Well, this for Leanne is almost a revival. If you talked earlier in the show how down she was about her bowling 2-3 years ago, and joked that her husband Gary never seen her bowl well. Well, he's here, and you see her last Cats data.
And she's got a little bit of friction on that lane too. Was fortunate to get a break there. She's going to have to move left on the right lane as well.
Left enough for you?
Come on, ball. Come on. Hit.
Look out. Message rejected. Messenger came over there and nothing.
And that's probably just a move from the right lane, but this left lane has consistently stayed tighter. It's more oil down lane. It's been tougher. It's created more hold, basically. This one comes a little light, and the head pin does not come across and hit the 10. A blind scout.
Oh, okay.
Stay over there.
And she got it. That's the pin that she missed badly and still got away with it in that dramatic one-pin victory over Linda Barnes. Now, Kelly-Kulick had a year last year that staggered the imagination. Won the men's tournament of champions, won the 2 women's majors, the USBC Queens and the US Open. And I think she looks at it as having almost a target now, and she's kind of the favorite in every women's event she entered. She still continues to bowl in the men's events as well, and she thinks there are some fans who are here rooting for her and some who may not be. And she gets a break there. Kelly-Kulick has become famous for her efforts, particularly last year in 2010, and she's having to deal with that scrutiny.
I've worked hard in my career to get where I am today. Whether it's traveling international bowling for Team USA, bowling on the men's tour, I felt that my legs were cut off for me when the women's tour folded. So I didn't stop bowling. Bowling just maybe ceased in certain ways, but it didn't stop me from perfecting my craft that I do so well.
She's not joking about that, and it is a craft. And by the way, she and Liz Johnson will be on the Pan American team. Not for Brooklands. And she looks just lost right now. Body language says that she's just struggling to find a shot.
Well, this is a rare repetition issue for Kelly. And in her time on tour, what she did perfect is she became a much better shot maker. She didn't rely on her power to beat you anymore. She can bowl in the fresh and pick up pins there. And then when it turns into a power thing, she has you on the other side. And that's what's made her so dominant. She made a ball change 2 frames ago, let her get a